Hello everyone, this is Derek with New Life ESL again. Previously made a video telling you about the many reasons why you'd want to come and teach in China. Today I want to take a minute to talk to you about some reasons why you should not come teach in China if what I discuss in this video describes you. So let's go over a few things that are going to make it very difficult, if not impossible, for you to succeed at teaching and living as an expat in China. Uh, First one, and you may find it hard to believe that I actually have to bring this up at all, is that if you don't really want to teach, you shouldn't come teach in China. Unfortunately, you will find a lot of people that are living and teaching overseas simply because they want to travel and party constantly. Which, traveling and partying is great. No problem with that. I like to do it myself. However, if you have no passion and no interest in teaching, you're really doing a disservice to the people that you are teaching. And, they're going to be able to tell that your heart's not in it, and it's going to affect the way that you do your job. So while living overseas and going out to the bars and meeting fellow expats and getting a drink and hang out and have conversations with the locals is one of the best parts about living overseas, you want to make sure that's not your only focus. Second thing is that you refuse to try new things. If you're the kind of person that is very stuck in a routine, um, and you don't want to try anything that's going to take you out of your comfort zone, you probably wouldn't come to China. But you'd be surprised. You do meet a lot of people living overseas that are incredibly stuck in their ways, and I don't really know what they're doing, why they're here. But if you do come to China, you should make sure that you open yourself up, open your heart, open your mind, let yourself experience new things, and you have a really great time in China. Number three, you can't roll with the punches. This one is incredibly important for being an expat overseas. You're going to quickly find out that everything is different from back home. Just about everything, if not everything. So you'll have some experiences during your time that are going to be difficult and trying for you. And if you can't pick yourself back up, have a positive attitude, and go on with your day, then you're really going to have a hard time living overseas. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of understanding when you uproot your life and go to a new culture that you're not very familiar with. It's kind of like being born all over again, having to learn how to act, what normal social situations are like, how to be polite, what's considered rude, many things that are very important for you to know when you're living overseas. And that goes right into the fourth reason you shouldn't come to China if this video describes you. And that would be that you have no, I'm sorry, it would be that you think your country or culture is better than all others. And this is another trait you will find amongst a lot of the least desirable of expats. You may be having a beer at an expat bar and get into a conversation. And a lot of times you have these guys that just want to tell you about how everything was back home and how it's so much better and how everyone does everything wrong where they live nowadays. And it's really tiring. I get annoyed with it as an expat, but if you think it's annoying for an expat, it's infinitely more annoying for the locals that have to hear your nonsense. So a big part of living overseas is getting to see that a different culture and a different way of belief is not right or wrong by default. It's simply different. So keep your mind open and don't get into the habit of talking about well, back home things were like this and this all the time, because it's not going to be good for you. um, and also, you have no interest in learning about another culture. Uh, you may not want to become fluent in Chinese. You may have no interest in learning the language, but you do need to learn about the culture of the country that you choose to live in. It's very important that you know how to be respectful. Like I was talking about earlier, you need to represent yourself in the best way possible. And beyond that, I mean, I don't know why you would want to waste such a great opportunity to really learn about another culture from the inside, which will open your mind in ways that you can't experience staying back at home. And it's one of the main reasons why people go and live and work overseas in the first place, is so they can experience something totally new and allow it to change your mind, um, let you see some of the cultural biases that you have, some of the thoughts you might hold dear that maybe melt away when you have a different lens to look at the world through. Uh, you should also not come to China if you are not ready for a challenge. Like I was talking about briefly before, it will be challenging uprooting your life and moving thousands of miles away from home. And teaching English will also be challenging. It's a very rewarding job. You have a lot of fun, especially if you're teaching young kids. You get to play a lot of games. You may be the first Westerner that this child has ever talked to, so you're having a great experience. But it is going to be challenging. You're going to need to, you know, live your life in a way that you've probably never done before, and there will be situations that are challenging that you've probably never been challenged by before, like simply trying to order a meal at a place where there's no pictures and no English menu, and you don't understand what's going on, or trying to pay an electric bill and you can't read the bill. Many things that could be challenging. And like I said earlier, if you can't roll with the punches, don't waste your time coming to China. Also, if you can't live without the comforts of home, this is a big thing you will see with many expats. They try to recreate their life exactly like it was in the West, which can be done to a point. But if you're going to be eating Western food every day, trying to live your life like you did back in America or the UK or Canada, wherever you come from, it's going to be very expensive, and you're still going to be missing a lot of the comforts of home. A better idea is to embrace all the amazing things that you can do in China that you could never do back home, or would be incredibly expensive to do back home, such as eat amazingly fresh seafood. Just have lots of experiences you can't have back home. So don't come to China expecting you to be able to mold China into your ideal Western world in Asia, because it's probably not going to happen, and it's a bad idea to try to do that. Last one. Don't come to China if you're not ready to have the time of your life, because despite all the challenges that you will have, you're going to have an experience that you will remember for the rest of your life and will change you for the rest of your life. Personally, I believe the best way to make a positive change in the world is for everyone to travel and live overseas and to see what other cultures value, how they perceive situations, from the inside, not the way you see, other cultures and people presented to you on the news and all the scare tactics, but to really get a chance to know another people, another culture. If you go to China, you're going to have a great opportunity to learn Chinese, which learning a language will also give you a new lens to look at the world through, and a new way to think. And it's a language that is increasingly becoming more, valuable as China becomes more and more powerful in the global economy. So, videos run a little long, but these are the reasons why you should not come to China, but only if these reasons describe you. Otherwise, get in touch. I would love to help you get out to China. Here at New Life ESL, we are recruiting for hundreds of open positions with or without a degree experience. If you want to come to China, let me know, and I'll get you out here. Thanks.